Hey guys, Daniel here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do some basic functions in numbers, how to get started, how to find these things that are required in BioZone, how to find the frequency, and then it'll make you be able to plot it into a histogram. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is insert all of your data in. So for example, it'll say on the book, it'll say 25, frequency 1, so you just put 25 once. And if it says 35, frequency of that 2, you just put 35 twice. And if it says 36, frequency 0, just don't put anything. Just don't even include it. And then it's pretty simple. Just double check your work, make sure you don't make any mistakes, or it'll screw you up a lot later. So double check it, make sure you have everything, don't screw up. And then moving on. So the next thing you want to do is find the count, which is what the BioZone wants. And this is pretty simple. It's all the instructions are in the BioZone for this part. At least it's pretty much the same for numbers and Excel for this part. So you want to go up here to function. This is where you insert it's where all the magic happens, guys. So function, and then you go to count, and there it is, 30. And you see the blue part right here is what is included for this. And oops. So I don't want this white part right here. It doesn't really matter, but it just makes it neater. So click that. If you double click this will show up, and then you can resize and select whatever you want, like all this, all that. And this is all you want, guys. Alright, and then moving on to mean, same thing again, function, and average on Excel and Mac numbers, it's just mean. They don't have a specific name for mean, it's just called average. So go ahead and click that, and you can see here, again, blue, it's all automatic. But you notice here that it included the count here, but you don't want that. So you double click, and then click that to edit. Oops. And then you can just resize this so it doesn't include that, and then check. It changes it a little bit. And moving on to median, go to function. And then if it's not in here, you go to create formula. And then you can see here on the right side it says there's a search bar. Makes it really easy. So median. Well, I didn't enter here, but entered here, which is fine too. And then for value, you're just gonna select all your data right there. Check. And then moving on to mode. So again, if it's not in here, create formula. Mode, there it is, insert function. For value, again, select the same data that you're going to use for it. Check. And then there it is. And then next is variance. So again, it's function, create formula. Again, all of this is still in the book, like how to do this for Excel and Mac. It's pretty much the same. So in the BioZone it says the thing is VAR, so I'm just going to type VAR. There it is. Insert function, and then for numeral date, just go same thing again, check, and then there you go. And then standard deviation, last thing, function, create formula again, search for it. In the BioZone it says it's STDEV. Well, again, they typed here, but it doesn't matter. There, and then value, just again, select all your data. Alright, now that you're set, you normally wouldn't get all this like neat new decimal places. So if you want to fix that, you just select all of this, because it'll be all jumbled up. You have to go to cell right here, and then here you'll be able to like adjust your decimal numbers. Sorry about the phone. Okay, moving on. So you're done with this, and the next thing they want you to do is to plot frequency histograms. And it says this isn't really required. You could just draw this by hand, but it says if you want to do it, you could do it on the computer, which can make it like way easier. So here we go. Alright guys, so the next thing you want to do is to just input the range. So what the range is from the lowest to the highest number. That's just what I do. It's like really simple. It's the most basic way to do it. Otherwise, you can just put like 25, 35, 45. What this means is that it'll find all the data points that are from 0 to 25 and tell you the frequency. And right here it'll say 26 to 35 and how many times it appears. But for me, I want to be specific, so I would just want to put 25 up to the top number, which is 68. So to do this quickly, you don't want to just go 25, 26, 27, 28. You'll take the whole day. So just all you need is 25 and 26. And what numbers does, or Excel, it'll like it's a pretty simple pattern. So there's this yellow thing right here. You just drag down, and whoops, too much. Just drag down until you get to, oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Okay, until you get to 68, but there's not enough, so I'm gonna resize this thing to 68. There you go. So that's the range, guys. Again, you can put it like 25, 35, whatever you want, but if you want to be so specific like the book wants you to, then this is what you do. And then the next thing you want to do is find the interval. That's pretty straightforward. You just put 1, 2, and then this may not be the simplest way to put it, but it works every time. It may take a while, but it won't take that long. So again, same thing, drag down so that it matches up with 68 right here. Alright, so the next thing you want to find is the frequency. Alright, this is where you insert the kind of complicated but not really function. So you're going to start, you can just type equals to start a function, and then index is what you're going to start with, and then press enter, and then you can put frequency, enter, and for this part, data values, make sure that is selected. These are your data values, so select this, and then what you want to do is to lock this in, because you're not gonna be doing this over and over for each little box right here. You're gonna be like copying it down like I did with these. I drag them down. So you want to lock these, or else they will move around, and it's really annoying. So just make sure you check all 4 of these. And then for interval values, it's right here, the range. It's all in order, which is pretty easy. So make sure you get everything selected. Sorry about that. And then again, you want to lock these. And then finally, row index is just the interval. And then again, same thing. There you go. Same thing, just lock. And then you have these 2 left, but you just ignore them. And then you should be set. Just make sure everything is locked in. Press check. And frequency is 1. So you just go down so that it will repeat it over and over again for you automatically, which makes it way easier. I'm having difficulty with this thing. Oh my god. Oh my god, the lag on the computer. Okay, there you go. And then there you go. There is your frequency. And I know you can just type this in and all, but it's better if you know how to do this in the future when you have like way more data sets. And you need like all the zeros and stuff too. And then you can check with the book on page 443. You can kind of just match it up and double check you got pretty much everything right. And it seems like I do have everything right. And then looks like you're set. You can resize this chart. So last thing is to make that histogram. So the last thing you want to do is make a histogram after you have this frequency right here, which is the only thing you basically need. So you'll select all of this, all of your frequency data, including all the zeros, and you just click chart, and you can make it 2D, 3D, all fancy. I just do a 2D chart, and then here you have it. So first thing you want to do here is add a title, and let's just put actually you don't need a legend here, you just need a title. So let's just title it length of 0 year perch, and which data set you're using, because you're going to be using n equals 50 later, which is the same thing repeated over. And that's it for the title. Go back to the chart. And then there's this gap here. If you notice on a couple pages before, they'll say that histogram should have no gap. So gaps here is right here under chart. And then it's 40% right now. I could just make it smaller until it's 0%, so they're all connected, unless you have 0 right here. So let's move on to axes. So y-axes, and so you want an axis name. You want to label it. So let's name it length in millimeters. All right, and then let's go to. So you want numbers here as well because what's the point of you don't have numbers, right? So let's select all this. You don't need any of this. It's like in a freaking empty thing for some reason, which is annoying. So for this, you're just gonna have to select the range all the way down to 68. Let's check. And there you have all your numbers, which is pretty neat. And then let's go to the y value. You want an axis name again. Let's name this frequency. Alright, and then let's move this over a little bit, and you see this 0.75, 1.75. You don't want that. It's just too complicated. So you want to put a. You don't have to care about the minimum because it's always 0 anyways in this case. And the maximum in this case is 3, so I'm just going to put 3. And then in the major, you just want to kind of like match it up so it kind of goes into each other. So 3, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Pretty simple. There's no decimals or anything like that. And you should be all set. You can resize this to your liking. And there you have it. So Command P to print. And then you can print on the same page, print on a different page, you can move it over, press print, and then you can just press print and you're set. So the next thing to do would be n equals 50, which is pretty much the same thing. There's just more valuables here. Look at all this stuff. So basically all you have to do is the same thing and find all of this again, and again find the range, which is from the lowest to the highest. 46 right here, highest is 67, so just put 46, 47, and then I drag that yellow arrow down, and then go to 67, right? And the interval is just 1 to the last number right here, so in this case it was 1 to 22. And then for the frequency, frequency, again it is, let's try it again here, let's do the test one. So equals index, that's that, and then frequency, that. And then the data values will be this, will be your length, and then interval values will be your range, and then row index will be your interval. And then you just press check. And then in this case there's nothing because I'm like outside here, I'm not up here. So that's just like a summary of what you have to do. G2, G2 have to use, blah blah blah. You get the point, and it works out. And if there's any questions, just ask me at school. Thanks for asking, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.